Picture this. Two bustling Asian metropolises, each a powerhouse in its own right. On one hand we have Shanghai, a gleaming testament to China's economic rise, with its futuristic skyline and spotless streets. On the other hand, we have Delhi, India's vibrant capital, pulsating with life, but often grappling with issues of cleanliness and civic sense. This stark contrast begs the question, what makes the difference? Why is cleanliness often perceived as a more pressing concern in Chinese cities compared to their Indian counterparts? Is it stricter enforcement, or deeper cultural factors? This essay seeks to unravel this complex issue by examining the historical, social and political factors that have shaped the urban landscapes of India and China. We will delve into the effectiveness of government initiatives, the role of civic education, and the power of community participation in shaping a city's cleanliness. Furthermore, we must acknowledge that cleanliness isn't merely about sweeping streets and collecting garbage. It's about fostering a sense of shared responsibility, a collective awareness that our actions have consequences for the environment and for each other. It's about understanding that a clean city is not just a government's responsibility, it's a reflection of its citizens' values. This exploration is not about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about fostering a dialogue, about learning from each other's successes and failures. It's about recognizing that the journey towards cleaner, healthier cities is a collective one, requiring a concerted effort from governments, citizens, and institutions alike. The cleanliness of Chinese cities isn't solely a product of historical legacy, it's actively enforced and encouraged by the government through a combination of strict regulations and public awareness campaigns. Littering, spitting, and other forms of public nuisance are met with hefty fines and, in some cases, even public shaming. The government's commitment to cleanliness extends beyond punitive measures. Significant investments have been made in waste management infrastructure, from state-of-the-art recycling plants to efficient garbage collection systems. Public restrooms, often a neglected aspect of urban planning in many developing nations, are plentiful and generally well maintained in Chinese cities. Beyond infrastructure, the government actively promotes civic awareness through sustained public education campaigns. These campaigns utilize various mediums from television commercials and billboards to social media campaigns and school curriculums to instill a sense of responsibility towards public hygiene. This multi-pronged approach, combining stringent regulations with a focus on education and awareness, has proven effective in shaping public behavior. While some may argue that such strict enforcement borders on authoritarianism, it's undeniable that it has yielded tangible results in maintaining a certain level of cleanliness in Chinese cities. Beyond the surface, community engagement and cultural values. Cleanliness in Chinese cities stems from community engagement and cultural values. Citizens are taught collective responsibility and respect for public spaces. School activities and community initiatives reinforce these values. Neighborhood committees organize regular cleaning drives. Cleanliness reflects positively on residents rooted in cultural beliefs. The weight of legacy navigating the challenges of urbanization. Understanding the cleanliness challenges faced by Indian cities requires acknowledging the historical context in which they've evolved. Unlike China's long tradition of centralized urban planning, many Indian cities bear the legacy of colonial rule, marked by rapid, often haphazard growth and a lack of comprehensive urban planning. This unplanned expansion, coupled with waves of migration from rural areas, has placed an immense strain on existing infrastructure. Many cities grapple with inadequate waste management systems, limited public sanitation facilities, and a lack of green spaces, all contributing to a perception of uncleanliness. Furthermore, the historical lack of investment in public services, particularly in sanitation and waste management, has created a vicious cycle. Inadequate infrastructure leads to overflowing garbage bins and unsanitary conditions, which in turn breeds apathy and a lack of civic responsibility among citizens. It's important to acknowledge that this isn't merely a matter of financial resources. While increased investment in urban infrastructure is crucial, addressing the issue of cleanliness in Indian cities requires a multifaceted approach that tackles both the physical and the psychological aspects of the problem. A crisis of consciousness. The lack of civic sense. Cleanliness in Indian cities is a crisis of civic consciousness. Littering, spitting, and open defecation show a lack of responsibility for public spaces. Poverty, lack of education, and resignation contribute to this mindset. Public spaces are seen as the government's responsibility. A paradigm shift is needed to foster ownership and responsibility. Infrastructure woes. A system under strain. The challenges of rapid urbanization and a burgeoning population have exposed the inadequacies of India's urban infrastructure, particularly in the realm of waste management and sanitation. Overflowing landfills, inadequate garbage collection, and a lack of proper sewage systems are commonplace sights in many Indian cities. The sheer volume of waste generated daily, coupled with inefficient segregation and disposal methods, creates a logistical nightmare. Overflowing garbage bins become breeding grounds for disease-carrying pests, posing significant health risks to residents, particularly in densely populated areas. Furthermore, the lack of access to public toilets and proper sanitation facilities exacerbates the problem. Open defecation, despite government efforts to eradicate it, remains a grim reality in many parts of urban India, contaminating water sources and posing severe health hazards. Addressing this infrastructure deficit requires significant investment and a comprehensive overhaul of existing systems. From modernizing waste processing plants and implementing efficient garbage collection routes to expanding public sanitation facilities and investing in innovative waste management technologies, a multi-pronged approach is crucial. The enforcement gap where laws fall short. India's cleanliness laws often fail due to poor enforcement and a culture of impunity. Littering and spitting go unpunished, making rules seem like suggestions. Corruption and lack of resources widen this enforcement gap. Slow judicial processes discourage reporting violations. Lenient fines fail to deter civic offenses. Negligible penalties make convenience outweigh civic duty. Bridging this gap needs better resources and training. Empower authorities to monitor and penalize effectively. Increase fines and streamline judicial processes. Beyond appearances, cleanliness as a reflection of social values. The cleanliness divide between Indian and Chinese cities reflects deeper societal values and attitudes towards public spaces. In China, cleanliness is linked to national pride and collective responsibility. This mindset is evident in community cleanup drives. In contrast, Indian cities often struggle with a more individualistic mindset. Littering and spitting are seen as minor transgressions. Bridging this gap requires a shift in attitudes and a cultivation of civic consciousness. The population paradox, density, poverty, and the strain on resources. Indian cities face cleanliness challenges due to population density and poverty. Millions live in cramped, unsanitary conditions, straining infrastructure. Garbage systems are overwhelmed and sanitation is inadequate. Poverty forces survival priorities over civic responsibility. Addressing cleanliness requires tackling poverty and inequality. A colonial hangover, unraveling the historical roots of India's urban challenges. India's urban challenges are deeply rooted in its colonial past. British rule prioritized resource extraction over local well-being. Urban planning reflected segregation, creating stark disparities. This legacy of neglect haunts Indian cities today. Overcoming these challenges requires equitable urban planning and civic engagement. Shanghai versus Mumbai, a tale of two megacities. Shanghai and Mumbai, two bustling economic powerhouses, face contrasting realities in cleanliness. Shanghai boasts clean streets and efficient waste management. Mumbai struggles with waste and sanitation challenges. Initiatives like Swachh Bharat aim to improve Mumbai's situation. Let's shift our focus to two other prominent cities, Chengdu, the capital of China's Sichuan province, and Delhi, the bustling capital of India. Both cities are steeped in history and culture, yet their approaches to urban planning and cleanliness offer a stark contrast. Chengdu, famed for its laid-back atmosphere and spicy cuisine, has emerged as a model of sustainable urban development. The city boasts numerous parks and green spaces, a well-maintained public transport system, and a remarkable level of cleanliness. Delhi, on the other hand, grapples with severe air and noise pollution, traffic congestion, and a lack of adequate green spaces. The city's struggle with cleanliness is evident in its overflowing landfills, open drains, and the persistent problem of illegal waste dumping. While Delhi has made efforts to address these issues, with initiatives like the odd-even car rationing scheme and the introduction of compressed natural gas for public transport, the lack of a cohesive long-term vision for sustainable urban development continues to plague the city. Amidst the often disheartening narratives of uncleanliness in Indian cities, Indoor's remarkable transformation stands as a beacon of hope. Once notorious for its garbage woes, Indore has consistently ranked as India's cleanest city in recent years, a testament to the power of political will, community participation, and effective waste management. Indore's success story can be attributed to a multi-pronged approach that involved revamping the city's waste management infrastructure, implementing a strict waste segregation policy, and, most importantly, mobilizing citizens to take ownership of their surroundings. The city implemented a door-to-door garbage collection system, ensuring that waste is collected regularly and segregated at the source. This was complemented by the establishment of modern waste processing plants that convert organic waste into compost and generate energy from non-recyclable waste. However, the key to Indore's success lay in its ability to transform the mindset of its citizens. Extensive awareness campaigns, community engagement programs, and strict enforcement of anti-littering laws fostered a sense of shared responsibility for the city's cleanliness. Indore's journey demonstrates that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with a combination of political will, effective policies, and, most importantly, the active participation of citizens. It serves as a shining example for other Indian cities striving to shed their dirty image and create a cleaner, healthier environment for their residents. The sight of a crumpled plastic bag tumbling down a crowded street, a discarded water bottle rolling along the sidewalk, or a pile of food waste unceremoniously dumped by a street vendor is, sadly, not uncommon in many Indian cities. This disregard for public cleanliness stems from a lack of civic education and awareness. The responsibility for cleanliness is often relegated to the government rather than being internalized as a shared civic duty. The lack of immediate consequences for littering perpetuates this behavior. The likelihood of being caught and penalized is slim, reinforcing the perception that littering is a victimless crime. The long-term consequences, clogged drains, polluted water bodies, and the spread of diseases, often fail to resonate with those who prioritize immediate convenience. Section 2. Beyond Individualism. Cultivating a sense of shared responsibility. Addressing India's littering problem requires a shift in mindset towards collective responsibility. Community engagement and education are key to this cultural transformation. Instilling civic responsibility from a young age is crucial. Public awareness campaigns and community-driven initiatives foster ownership of public spaces. A clean environment is a shared responsibility, achievable through collective action. Section 1. The Superpower Delusion. Cleanliness as a prerequisite for global standing. India's rise as a global superpower is hindered by its struggles with cleanliness and civic sense. True superpower status requires more than economic might. It demands a high quality of life and responsible global citizenship. Overflowing landfills and polluted waterways undermine India's aspirations. Cleanliness reflects a nation's values and commitment to progress. The economic impact of India's cleanliness crisis. India's cleanliness crisis impacts tourism, a sector with immense potential for growth. Negative perceptions deter visitors, leading to lost revenue and missed opportunities. Tourism thrives on first impressions. Cleaner cities can unlock tourism's full potential and economic benefits. Towards a cleaner future policy, infrastructure, and education. Turning the tide on India's cleanliness crisis requires a multi-pronged approach that addresses the issue from multiple angles. It demands a concerted effort from the government, civic authorities, and citizens alike, working in tandem to create a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable future. First and foremost, the government must prioritize investment in robust waste management infrastructure. This includes modernizing existing waste processing plants, expanding landfill capacity, and implementing efficient garbage collection and segregation systems. Equally crucial is the need for stricter enforcement of existing anti-littering laws and the introduction of more stringent penalties for offenders. The culture of impunity surrounding civic offenses must end. Visible enforcement coupled with public awareness campaigns highlighting the consequences of littering can serve as effective deterrents. Furthermore, education plays a pivotal role in shaping a generation that values cleanliness and civic responsibility. Integrating environmental awareness, public hygiene, and civic duty into school curriculums can instill these values from a young age, creating a generation that views cleanliness not as a chore, but as a shared responsibility. Empowering change, the power of community and individual action. True change must stem from the ground up. Empowering communities and individuals is paramount. Community-driven initiatives foster collective responsibility. Technology can also play a significant role. Mobile apps empower individuals to maintain cleanliness. Public recognition inspires others to follow suit. The journey towards a cleaner India requires collective action. Bridging the gap towards a cleaner, greener India. India's path to a cleaner, greener future requires policy changes, infrastructure, and societal shifts. Civic sense and urban hygiene are crucial. Balancing enforcement with education and community engagement is key. India has the resources and human capital. Success stories like Indore show change is possible. Cleanliness is an investment in public health and prosperity. Embrace collective responsibility for a sustainable future. A collective responsibility, shaping a sustainable future. Cleaner cities require collective responsibility. Each discarded plastic bottle, every carelessly tossed candy wrapper, every instance of spitting contributes to the problem. Conversely, every conscious effort to dispose of waste responsibly, every act of cleaning up a public space, every word spoken against littering becomes a step towards a solution. The transformation begins with individual action. By embracing simple practices like carrying reusable bags, segregating waste at home, and refraining from littering, we not only reduce our own environmental footprint but also inspire those around us. Community engagement is equally crucial. Organizing cleanup drives, advocating for better waste management systems in our neighborhoods, and holding elected officials accountable for maintaining public hygiene can create a ripple effect, transforming apathy into action. Furthermore, leveraging the power of technology and social media to raise awareness, report violations, and share best practices can amplify our individual efforts. Imagine a digital platform where citizens can report instances of littering, track the progress of waste management initiatives, and access information on responsible waste disposal. The path towards a cleaner India is paved with small conscious actions multiplied by millions. It's about recognizing that our individual choices have a collective impact, and that by working together, we can transform our cities from symbols of apathy into beacons of civic pride, creating a legacy of cleanliness and sustainability for generations to come.